All right, give us a sense of the lay of the land now. So you made your announcement. What's it like?
Come to Iowa often. That's one of the lessons I learned in 2011 is if you want to be successful here, you need to be here often. And 2011, we got here late. We weren't prepared. It showed this time. And what I've done in preparing for that announcement, I knew if I wanted to be, or if I wanted to give myself an opportunity to be successful in Iowa, I had to be prepared and I had to come here often. So the kickoff was successful. And now you will see us spending the time and the effort, whether it's 2 people or 2,000. I will come and meet with them in Iowa over the course of the next 6 to 8 months, and I feel very confident of how we will do here. Pretty sure I'll be the only person sitting on that stage, standing on that stage that's got an agriculture degree. I can stand on a turn row and talk about agriculture, how to market that Iowa grain crop around the world. I can also sit in the boardroom because having been the chief executive of the 12th largest economy in the world for the last 14 years, I've had a lot of negotiations that I've done. So that and probably, if not the only person, one of 2 that have worn the uniform of the country. So I think those 3 things will separate me from the field, and our record of accomplishment economically in Texas is unquestionable.
A couple things. Let's talk about military. You're here on a day where you're going around with some people who are considered heroes, obviously, for what they've gone through for the service of the country. What do you get from them?
Well, I don't consider them heroes. They are legitimate heroes. On a day that we celebrate 71 years ago, individuals liberating the continent of Europe, my father being one of those, I'm really proud of these men and women. They're the foundation of what America is all about. People who are willing to put themselves in harm's way for our freedoms, that gave up their todays for our tomorrows. I mean, that's some pretty powerful stuff. And these are great Americans.
Because of your background, you're obviously a tactician in the sense that you don't usually lose when you run for election, right? I mean, you got a pretty good streak going.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. You know, we'll leave out the last presidential run. That was a warm-up act. What I'm curious about from you is the different rules this year, the way they're doing these debates. There is concern in our state that you all will be more focused on getting on Fox News, whatever it is, other than campaigning in these early states, because you got to get your national standing up to make sure you make that threshold. That dynamic is one that we haven't seen previously, and I'm curious, what do you make of that?
Well, I'm going to get on Fox News, but I'm also going to spend whatever I need to spend here to be successful in Iowa. Again, the lesson I learned in 2011 was if you're going to be successful in the presidential bid, you got to come and do well in Iowa, and the way you do well in Iowa is you spend time here.
What are they going to see differently from you?
Well, they see a focused candidate, they'll see a healthy candidate, they'll see a well-prepared candidate.
You going to see it at the straw poll, or is that thing done and there are other things to focus on?
Well, we'll make a decision on that at the appropriate time, but here's what I will tell you. I will spend the time, the effort, and the money to do as well in these caucuses in Iowa as I can.
You've been here more than anybody as far as events and days on the ground here in our state. What are people talking to you about that sticks out in your mind differently this cycle than last?
Economics is obviously still very important to the people of Iowa, but what I hear this time that I didn't 4 years ago was security. Whether it's security of the border or whether it's the security of this country from a global standpoint, from a foreign policy standpoint. They are really concerned with ISIS, for instance. Obviously, we didn't hear that 4 years ago, but border security, national security, both very high up on people's concerns.